Good morning, everyone. Welcome to this InvestGlass webinar. It's a pleasure to have you today for a special webinar about how to build your online bank with zero experience. So obviously, as you will see, zero experience is slightly oversold, but at least today with all those amazing fintech throughout the world, we can build amazing experiences. My name is Alexandre. I'm the CEO of InvestGlass, and thank you for coming this morning. We have about 45 participants now this morning, so it's amazing. Thank you for your support and, as we say, fidélité in French. Before we actually start with this webinar, I have to say that all you're going to see today, it's only for educational purposes. InvestGlass and the presenters are not investment advisors, brokers, and we do not participate in any type of offer, sales, or distribution of securities or financial products. We do not provide any financial advice, so please make sure that you will have an advice from your legal specialist, a lawyer in your own country, partly in the matters of banking, which obviously are complex. So today we're going to talk about how to build an online bank. It's a lot of questions for most of you where to start. Do I need to have a license myself? Should I start from the very beginning like a child and bring this bank up to speed? Should I be under an umbrella of another regulated body like you have in Luxembourg, in Singapore, or obviously in London? How much cash do I need? How much money do I need? Should I be EMI? Should I be, which is a e-money license? Should I be a full-fledged bank? All those questions will depend very much of what you want to achieve with your clients. Obviously, the threshold might move based on the different local policies and politics. In Switzerland, we have seen, for example, an easing for different types of Bitcoins and cryptocurrency businesses, but obviously this can change. As you know, banking regulation changes, so make sure that what you expect to build will be with the means that you can actually afford. The big question starts obviously from where and with whom you want to do it. I strongly suggest you to start with a partner that is already regulated in the UK, in Switzerland, or in Luxembourg, as a stepstone to later on build your own boutique and build your own businesses. If you are more into a rush mode, like Series A, Series B, Series C, and you want to go into this, I would say, neobank trend, then obviously you can build your own. It's just that it will take 6-12 months to build it and get regulated. 6 to 12 months minimum. Other people would say, yeah, but we are going to buy empty shell. But that's also possible, but usually there's always some muddy waters and some complex businesses around empty shells. So I would suggest you either to start from a blank page or to start with a partner that is well regulated. And then the following question is, what are the metrics you wish to achieve? Let's talk business. Let's talk profitability. I know we're in crisis, but let's talk profitability. What is the valuation per customers? What do you want to do with them? Is it loans, deposit, forex, trading? Where are you going to make actually this money with them? And at the end, what will be the cost per customer and what will be the net profit per customer? As most of you know, most neobanks are negative in terms of net profit per customers. Private banks generally are quite positive because they're still high thanks to different types of products they have, thanks to different types of servicing they offer to their clients. But make sure that from the first step you have this right, because the costs obviously will vary very much, as you might see. This is just to give you a wide example of the types of costs. So KYC is know your customer. So this is all the, I would say, the different types of tasks, cores you'll have to do in terms of capturing information for new leads. So if you do face recognition, then you store it into a CRM, then you have to do some annual reviews. I'll show you later on what type of reviews you might have to do. this could cost you from 5 to 50 euros. I didn't want to frighten you. It could even be higher per year per customer. All those costs are per year. Depends very much also of the complexity of the clients. If it's to do a loan and deposit and you're using third-party partners, the cost will be lower than if you do some complex trading on complex financial instruments with different types of structures, different types of signatures. I'm talking about the signatures. Why? Because most neobanks do accounts for a single person. They don't do accounts for multiple signature. Some of them do actually for companies with multiple signature. But you see, it's another layer of complexity to have a look at. Then how much is it to manage a current account, the wallet? How much is it to do different types of payment processing? Here you find some ideas of how much it would cost. Obviously, this will vary very much also with the different types of fintech, financial technology companies you would connect into InvestGlass. The following question, the following suggestion I would look at is on which stream you want to engage with your customers. Because of the crisis, I think that there's going to be a lot of reshuffling in terms of emotions. Some people will be confident and comfortable using only mobile phones, tablets, computers, and will be into a do-it approach, the picture on the right. It means that they'll be satisfied with this type of way of communicating with you, which means that they won't come to the office. They might come sometimes once to sign a contract, or maybe you will organize a wine tasting or a Tesla show, I don't know. But they will be fine with this far distance. To the experience we have from the robo-advisory in the US, in Europe, or in Asia, usually the types of payments, loans, and assets managed are quite small compared to what you would find obviously into the more traditional brick and mortar. I think that this could change. I mean, it's not forever. It's possible that sooner or later you would have this evolution in terms of average process payments or loans. We have seen this, for example, into the payments and the purchase on goods. For example, if you know the website like Net-a-Porter or all these types of soft iPhone apps where you can buy some luxury goods. Well, now on those websites, you can find goods at 10,000, even 50,000 euros. So will it be possible that some digital natives or not digital natives, I think it's not the question of age, it's not a question of where you come from, but would it be possible that you will have more focus on do-it-yourself? Yes, but obviously it means also that you will have to get people very much into the knowledge and the understanding of producing content with emotions. That's said for the do-it-yourself. The hybrid is a mix between brick and mortar and do-it-yourself. So it's a mix between meeting with the clients, having paper documents, and at the same time having web forms to fill in KYCs and input some information into the CRM or place transactions. InvestGlass obviously has the tools for do-it-yourself, but we're really great, I think, at hybrids, which is usually very helpful when you're doing commercial lending, when you're doing private banking businesses. Then you have the brick and mortar, and here again, InvestGlass will help you. It's more about giving the right forms in the right time, delivering the right information, and make sure there when you have a face-to-face in the real life interaction with the clients, that you will deliver the right message. And sometimes it's not that easy. I mean, we see many banks that are trying to limit the frustration of the brick and mortar. So there's not an ideal world. There will be perhaps emotions in the brick and mortars, there could be emotions in the do-it-yourself. There could be frustration in do-it-yourself. There could be frustration in the brick and mortar. I think there's not a perfect model. COVID will make some of your models more complex. Obviously, if you're doing international banking with high net worth individuals traveling throughout the world, it will be difficult to go and meet with them in Spain, in Italy, in Singapore, or in Panama, or it will be difficult for them to come to meet with you too. So I think it's the right time now to select the right media stream and to make sure that the content that you're going to share with your customers is the right content. Being like most of you, I guess, this morning stuck for a few weeks at home, our behavior towards consuming news perhaps changed. Where you consume the news, the way you're going to interact with it will be different. I was discussing yesterday with a bank who was saying like, we want to do videos, only videos. I said like, yeah, videos is a great way, but where you want to put videos and in which format you want to put videos and what are the call to action you want to have with those videos. So it's very important that when you produce this content with your new bank, you make sure that you create some kind of storytelling around it that will suit not only the sophisticity or just the product that the clients want to consume, but also the way they are living their daily lives. Now let's create customers' experiences. As you know, offering is great, taking back is impossible. Partly if you have kids, you know that if you give a toy, it's impossible to get back the gift or the toy that you just offered. It is very important to focus on the core services you want to deliver first. I remember a bank coming in one day and say, hey, you know what, Alexander, we have everything. They showed me their iPhone and they had like, I don't know, 16 apps on their iPhones. And I said like, well, really 16 apps? What are the metrics? I mean, do you know which app is actually being used the most and among all those 16 apps? I said like, no, but in fact, this is the issue, the biggest issue we have because, in fact, it was a Chinese bank. Most of our clients download the app, but for very basic operations where the profitability is quite little. And when they start to have more, I would say, customer service, they use WeChat. And the biggest issue is that we want to redirect the traffic of WeChat back into our in-house app. And I said, like, yeah, you could do that, but the problem is that can we actually modulate those 16 apps? Can we select those that are relevant? And no, because we want to show everything. I said, like, well, that's the issue. You have to make sure that you deliver progressively. If you don't deliver enough, obviously there will be frustration. But if you just reach the level that I call the level of boredom, then your customers, the users, will focus mostly on those apps. And those apps will become a day-to-day commodity utility app that they will use seamlessly with no help. And then you go to the next level, perhaps with InvestGlass app store system to open your customers to another app when they actually have been using your portal for 3 to 6 months. Okay, so we'll show you how to this part of customization of apps. Don't throw everything, go step by step. And then use the different apps that are needed based on obviously the different types of customer journeys you want to do. Face recognition, digital signature, digital contract, and SMS signature, they won't match, they will not match everything. Some of them will be needed, others might not. Sometimes you might say like for this type of operation, we don't want digital signature, we want to keep it on paper. And the reason why you would do this is because the customer service and the experience will be different. Printing on a printer and writing with a fountain pen and send it by mail is very different than having a digital signature and then you have SMS that you receive and you validate. Both are valid. The cost is different, but at the end, the experience is also different. So it's very important for you to understand, like, should I digitalize everything, digitalize some of it, or where are my clients expecting me to say, well, we're going to do a Zoom, we're going to do a GoToMeeting, let's schedule something. I'm not comfortable in doing everything by myself, right? Once you've been engaging with this customer journey, you want to make sure also to increase your profits per customer, that you automate as much as possible. Usually we have two big problems in banks to automate. Is the events, the incidents, a client changing residence, client's anniversary, client's selling his company, a wedding, clients becoming a PEP. So this is the first top line, is incidents. Those incidents can be declared by your client or your client representatives. Sometimes it's your team that would eventually have to call the client randomly to ask and collect this information and put it back into InvestGlass CRM. Or sometimes you will use third-party systems like Onfido, Credas, WorldCheck, LexisNexis, and so on to gather some data on open and public or private repository of information, and to check if your client, for example, now is part of a politically exposed person entourage. And then this will create an incident that will be the beginning of a new process. So I think that is very important that from the very, very, very early stage of your sketch of this online bank, you know, or you can foresee what will be this incidents that will actually crush your customer profitability. The second level is recurrences. So based on the different type of client types, you have to refresh information. You would say, yeah, obviously I have to contact my clients. Yeah, but yeah, of course, but if you do a do-it-yourself type of approach with an app, you might be thinking that it will be sufficient for them to do only do-it-yourself type of interaction, and that's not the case. Even with neobanks, without doing name dropping, you know, the big two European neobanks, if you do some transfers that are touching the threshold in terms of money laundering, someone will take care of your file, of your business, of your receipts. They will have to ask you questions, why, where this money is coming from. So you tell me this is an incident, yes, but it's also a recurrence of events that will be automated. With InvestGlass, we have the whole automation tool, which will help you to segregate the different types of behavior you would have based on the different types of clients. If the client is a high risk, like a politically exposed person, like a personality, maybe not a personality on YouTube or on TikTok, but someone that can actually harm your business also, you might want to have a check each year, even if it's a neobank, even if it's an online bank. Now, if it's someone changing address, you have some rumors, or perhaps this business is into gems, stones, telecommunications, casinos, then the risk is still high, and you want to do a full check each 3 years. If it's low, then it will be each 5 years. You see, then you start having a segmentation from all we've seen just from the beginning, who you want to target, what you want to do, and how much you're going to interact with them. The objective is to stop any type of manual operations. This is what we're doing now with 2 online banks. We want to help them stop as much as possible all those reviews. The reviews are cumbersome and sometimes need escalation. And this is where you actually kill your profits, because if you don't forecast this type of processes beforehand, then the metrics and the choices that you will do later on into different types of fintechs you want to connect to each other will be completely different. So how you build this? First, you have to define your fintech strategy. So let's start with InvestGlass. InvestGlass, as you know, has all the tools from CRM, web forms, KYC, portfolio management system, order management system, client portal, automation, and so on. But we can replace the systems very much like this little bricks. You can put your own legacy tools on the top of your existing stack. So if you already use a core banking, portfolio management, or accounting system, InvestGlass will then be like a glazing, like a level of layer, customer layer on the top of your solution. Okay. What is very important is to make sure that those changes, if you already have a business, will come by iteration. We call this agile sprints. We go step by step by testing, failing, improving, and then we succeed. It's a step-by-step approach, and the step-by-step approach is what you need because it will be very difficult, as I guess now we can foresee, to make sure that you have all the cases before you start your business. Also because the regulation might change, okay? Then the second question when you build it is, where are you going to build it and what are the security and the legal specificities? InvestGlass, as you know, is hosted on the Swiss cloud here in Geneva, but we can have InvestGlass hosted in Singapore on your cloud, in London on your cloud, in Luxembourg on your cloud. The question is, does it really make sense? And can you have some of the functions of InvestGlass staying on the Swiss cloud and some of them on your cloud in Luxembourg? The first reason is respect customer identifiable data, very important in each country, and obviously now with GDPR we reach another level. And the second question obviously is just the costs, because moving all around some softwares, some fintech softwares is going to cost. Okay, so we're going to help you also with InvestGlass team and our consultants in Spain, in Malta, in London, in Singapore, Taiwan, to bring this Lego block, okay, this experience on the front, back, and middle, to bring it to life. Okay. The following question is then, which blocks of InvestGlass you want to use? Okay. As most of you know, we push strong now on the CRM. We have an amazing web forms and surveys for any type of account opening, KYC updates, commercial and loans agreements that we can digitalize with InvestGlass, and then all the results go back into the CRM of InvestGlass. Okay, so that's perfect. Then we have the PMS and the OMS. There we have a little one, and usually we like to work with third-party vendors. You know well the big PMS and accounting systems in France, in Switzerland, or in the UK. We like also to work with smaller ones. We can work also with OMS, order management system tools like the Bloombergs, the Ulink, or obviously one that we like very much, which is Trading Screen Quo, which is also a web-based order management system. Because at the end, what is important is to make sure that all those connections will connect into, I would say, an harmonious way, because those different vendor specialists have to be orchestrated, okay? And the orchestration itself will be one of the factors to reduce the cost per customer. So you've seen the big picture about building an online bank. We will produce next week a special webinar around automation next Friday. In fact, I have to say next Tuesday, we have a webinar with Trading Screen. Next Friday, we have a webinar around automation. So if you have any questions, please contact us as usual, contact@investgas.com. I hope you enjoy and make a lot of business and profits with InvestGlass. Go and get them and have a lovely weekend. Thank you and speak to you soon.